It doesn't say that.
Oh,
Oh,
there you
ah,
are.
Here it
oh,
goes.
what the fuck is that? Who is logging in as me? Connect audio. Oh my God, you guys. I don't even, I mean, I know what's happening. There's a lot of shit happening. I'm excited to. Who is this? Who's logged in under my name without my photo?
Oh. Oh.
Brittany, I think it's me, Erin, and I'm trying to get out of it, but I am having some issues because
Okay.
I was in it this morning to put my echo tapping background on,
Oh, okay. I think that's
and
what's
then now
happening.
I can't get out of it. So I'm so sorry,
That's
but
okay.
I
Just
wanted to be here.
okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Just sign out under my name and sign in under your own name, under your own
Okay,
Zoom account. Okay, thanks.
I'm trying.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
If you can't figure it out, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure you weren't somebody that was just like spying on us. So now that I know
No,
you, it's not that big of a deal.
no, sorry, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. I'm still walking on my walking pad today. I might have to stop this. You guys, I don't know what kind of week you've had, but we are in a fucking vortex together. I set that intention, and I forgot how powerful these things are. If you have had a horrible week, I'm going to put everybody on mute just so there's no background. If you have been struggling this week, if you are stressed out, if you have a lot of shit coming up, that is all on purpose. I'm sorry, but you're welcome. Um, I'm in it with you guys too. In this last week, I uncovered two of probably my biggest hidden blocks that I haven't been able to see or uncover for the entire time I've been tapping.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And so I guess I just, when I have these smaller containers, I I my energy is much more like combined with yours. And so I might be a few steps ahead of some of you, but I just want you to know that I'm right here with you. Here are some things that I want you to keep in mind while you're in this container. I want you all to treat yourself like you would if you were really sick or if you had something or if that doesn't work for you, if somebody else was really sick, how would you treat them? What I'm doing is I'm saying no a lot more. I'm going to bed early. I'm very, very tight on my routines. I'm not skipping workouts. I'm not drinking. I am not saying yes to things that I don't really feel lit up by. Um, because the shit that comes up for you guys right now is the gift. Okay, so if you have too much on your plate, if you're saying yes to too much and you're kind of going about this and you're like half-assing it, you're just going to be annoyed and frustrated, and this whole thing is just going to piss you off and make your problems worse. Okay, so I want you to triple commit to yourself that you are here, that you are choosing to be present, and that every problem that comes up for you, instead of looking at it as a problem, look at it as the gift. Hey, Pam, I'm just going to turn your video off right now because it's distracting me when you're walking. You can turn it back on once you're seated. Um, so is that all that I need to say about that? Yeah, I just want you to understand that sometimes in life we can't address the problems and the shit that comes up because there's just too much on our plate. But right now, the problems that come up for you are intentional and they're here to help you. They're here to serve you. They're here to help you get to your year-end misogi. And I guarantee if you guys choose to face the things that come up for you instead of avoiding it, getting confused, feeling overwhelmed, getting distracted, telling yourself, I can't do it. You absolutely fucking can. We have probably the most skilled coaches on the planet in this container, helping you, healing you. I'm going to add an extra call 3 times a month. I'm going to do a weekly call on Thursdays at noon, my time, 1 Eastern time. I'm going to add that to the calendar. You guys need more support. I think I can't check the message. I can't support you over text because if I can't hear your voice, I can't connect with your energy, and then I can't figure out how to guide you. Okay. So you are in a container of women that can help you absolutely reach your goal, but you have to be willing to step up for yourself. You have to be willing to look at the hard shit. You have to be willing to try things. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable, and you have to be willing to tap on yourself. Okay. Those of you, I think there's like 5 or 6 of you that have the unlimited tapping. I want to encourage you to still do your own tapping. The if you What I'm teaching you is a skill set that you can have for the rest of your life. If you really get and you really learn how to do the techniques that I'm teaching you guys, you will never have a problem that you can't solve for the rest of your life. Truly. You might need some help, you might need some guidance, you might need some like which technique or how do I work with this? That's all fine. Like, I'm not expecting you guys to never have questions. My best friends, my coaches, everybody, the coaches that are here, they're continuing their education. So it's not about you knowing everything, but it is about you um, gaining the skills to face the problems that are coming up for you on a regular basis. Because I wasn't with you yesterday, Sunday, when a lot of you guys had some shit coming up, or this last week when shit was coming up, right? And so these classes are here to teach you what to do in those moments. Okay. And the only way you're going to get good at it is if you practice on yourself a lot. Okay. I also want to, I'm going to be sharing resources in this class with you guys. And I think this is probably, it's probably like unspoken, but I just want to speak it into the space. We have, this is a business, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys the tools that I'm using, the newest, the latest tools. I know a lot of you guys are friends with other people that are in other programs that maybe aren't in this container. Please do not share the resources or talk about. You can give your opinion. You can tell them what you think about the class, your honest opinion, but please do not share any of the resources or any of the tapping that I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you guys my latest version, my most up-to-date version. And these are things that we are, unless you're in this container, you don't get access to that stuff. Okay. So I just want your agreement. Can everybody agree and say yes? Nod their head that you agree. Okay, great. Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better. Okay. So I know there were a few people that joined that weren't here last week. Last week was really just like a meet and greet. It was for me to know what your urine Misogi is. Hopefully everybody got that email, and you, as we check in and chat today, if we haven't talked, and if you don't know what if I don't know what your Misogi is, please tell me what your Misogi is. I have a running list of what you guys are all working on. It's going to help me, keep you guys on track and guide you throughout these next 90 days. And I thought what we would do today is, we used to call it dynamic echo tapping. Now, and as you guys know, I'm sure, I don't know if this is going to work. Usually I have to do things a few times before I figure out the system. So this is very much like an on the fly system. And usually the on the fly systems, you guys get my best stuff. So it might not be as organized, and like, I can't tell you exactly what we're going to go through step by step, but you guys will get the best of me. I probably will not offer 2 classes a week for the other containers that I do in the future. It's just really to figure out the system and to give you guys as much support as I can. So I apologize if you're the type of person that really likes to know exactly what's going on. This class isn't going to be like that. It's going to be working with you guys, figuring out what you need, and serving you at the highest and best level that I can. But what I thought we would do today is, I sent you guys a voice note over the weekend or last week about, if you want to know what's behind something, the only reason that you can't get to your goal is because the actions or the behaviors that you need to do to get to your goal feel bad, or the end goal feels bad. And so I want to take some examples. I'm just going to work with a couple of you, and I'm going to show you guys how we figure out what the biggest blocks are, what your biggest blocks are. For those of you guys that are wanting to lose weight, that system has been pretty much dialed. You might need help and guidance figuring out what it is for you, but that system is really dialed. If you're working on other things, I don't have a system for this, but I do have the mechanism to get there. Okay. So it doesn't matter what you're working on, whether it's weight, whether it's, I know Miriam wants to start a family. I know what you guys are all working on, right? So you don't have to be working on weight in order for this process to work, if that makes sense. There is something about, I have uploaded the document, our Google document with, we're calling it the opposite game. This used to be, we used to call it like how to find your own root cause, but that's obviously a clunky, it's a clunky name. So it's in the Google document if you want to like read step by step exactly what the psychology is behind this. But I think just to take advantage of our time together, I'm going to dive right in and I'm just going to show you guys how I do this by like calling on some of you. Okay, so if you're willing to be a participant, I see the hands raised. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop. I don't think I can tap and walk at the same time. Also, oh, you guys, I don't know if anybody is like an EFT original like me, but Gary Craig passed away today and I had a really hard time with it. It really I didn't think I would be emotional about that at all, but I just wanted to tell you guys that if you go to his Facebook, Tina wrote a really nice message about him and about his legacy that he left all of us. Like none of us would be here without that man. Like I've been crying and I've been really sharing my gratitude with him all day today. And so I know he's with us and he is absolutely the inspiration for my work. He was a total fucking psychology renegade. And I feel like I have, I identify with that as well. And I think everybody in this group does also. Oh, I didn't think I wanted to bring this up, but it feels weird to be teaching this stuff and not to talk about it. I put all my makeup on and then I read that post and I sobbed through all of it. So this is probably the most raw I have ever been on a class. I apologize, but usually this is where the gold happens. So we're rolling with it. Okay. Oh, all right. Clara, your hand is up first. Oh, hi, Clara.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I think I'm great, actually. I'm just really vulnerable.
Yeah. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. I was gonna ask questions, but I'd also love to work with you.
Okay, yeah, I think you'd be great. You'd be a
Okay,
great demonstration because it's the weight loss things are much easier for me to do because I understand that system. But yes, you're working on your business, right?
Yep, I have business,
Is
I have
that still the thing you want to work on?
I have business and like money stuff. And then I also feel when you were talking about weight loss as well, I feel like that's not my primary goal, but I definitely have a lot of like resistance to working out. And I feel like it's all related.
Okay, with this, you want to pick just one thing. So let's pick the most important thing. Like your Misogi for the end of the year was to start your healing business, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the weird thing, you guys. Here's the weird thing about this work. When we're women and we're our brains can go in a million different directions. So it's natural to be like, okay, well, I want to fix this and I want to fix this and I want to fix this. All you have to do is you have to intend that you want everything in your life to get better. Also, this work just does that for you. And then just pick one thing. Because the one thing that you pick, all the shit that you have to heal in order to get to that goal or in order to step into that newest, highest version of yourself, you will the other problems that you thought you had to focus on sometimes just go away on their own. So
Okay.
so pick the stickiest thing That's what I would say. Pick the stickiest issue, and the finances, the weight, all of that the exercise, that sometimes can be sorted out without you having to actually focus on it. So
Okay.
is the stickiest thing for you the business?
I feel like I know how to start businesses and do it, right? But I feel that I'm not fully connected with it. I guess that, it's like I have a business right now that's a jewelry business, and it does well, but it feels a little bit low stakes to me because like I'm not fully in it, if that makes sense. So it feels like the healing business would be a lot more like vulnerability and visibility.
So what's the one thing, like if you were to do that today, if the jewelry business went away
Mhm.
and you only had your healing modalities to depend on, what's the one thing that you would have to do in order to start getting clients and start making money that way?
I think for me, it's like it's a fear underneath all of it. I feel like there's
No, you don't have to tell me what the problem is.
okay,
We'll figure
okay,
that out. What's the
yeah.
one action that you need to take in order to, like, if you didn't have your jewelry business and you had no other way to make money and you had to make money as a healer today and get clients
Mhm.
to pay you, what's the one thing that you would have to do?
Start social media pages, start creating content, start putting myself out there.
Great. Okay. So what
Mhm.
happens when you think about doing that?
I feel some constriction sort of in my lower belly and in my throat.
Great. Okay. So feel that constriction, start tapping, and everybody else, if when I'm talking her through this, you can think of your own problem and do this with us. I probably won't have time to do this with every single person that has their hand up. I can check in with you guys all, but so as you feel that constriction, as you feel that forget the other words you use, follow that bad feeling back in time and tell me how old you are. And just go with the very first thing that comes up.
I think 21.
Great. See yourself at that age. Start tapping through the points. Take a few steps closer to her. Get closer and closer and closer to her until you can step inside her body, open your eyes, take a look around, and tell me what's going on, even if you think you're making it up.
Like right before I'm about to graduate. And I mean, I don't know how detailed to get, just like I'm
Well, what are you
completely
feeling? What are you feeling?
abandoned, hopeless, totally scared and overwhelmed.
Great. So you're doing a great job sitting with that. Allow yourself to feel these emotions, knowing that this is the very last time you ever have to feel this way. Allow yourself to fully, boldly, bravely step into these emotions and feel it for the very last time.
I feel them, but they come up and then they sort of go away.
Okay, that's great. That means we're healing them really quickly. So say more about what happened, just a little more. I don't need the whole story, but just say few more words about what's making you feel abandoned and hopeless and scared.
My dad and I are estranged. Like
Okay.
I've told him I don't need him. I don't want him in my life anymore. Um, which also means that I'm like completely cutting off finances in a way I wasn't prepared for, but I chose like my emotional healing over keeping that connection. And so it's like a mixture of like being proud of myself and then also just like not really realizing like how much it would impact me
Hmm.
emotionally, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
kind of it felt just like honestly, like the way I've described it is like ending my relationship with my dad. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, I feel like I've been in a cult for my whole life and I like don't know who I am. Like that's how it felt.
Hmm. I can relate to that. Okay, so there's part of you that's feeling proud, and then part of you that's probably terrified because even though you don't know what's coming, the older version of you knows what's coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember that year because I've always been like, I can do this, right? So that's the attitude that I went into it with of like, I'm going to solve this problem. I'll work more. I'll figure this out. And then I would just like be in the library or like random places and I just like couldn't stop crying. Do you know what I mean? It's like tears would just come out of me and I like didn't know why. I was just so sad.
Yeah. So just allow whatever emotions are resurfacing right now to come up. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of disillusionment, there's a lot of suppressed feelings with this memory.
I think also just like a lot of anger at my mom too, because like she didn't really step in, even like as an emotional resource. And then just like frustration with myself for being like, usually I can like power through things, and this is really just like leveling me.
Okay, that's all. Those are all really valid. I just want you to focus on your dad for the purposes of this. Okay, your
Okay.
mom that's a separate issue with your mom. But that tells me that your brain is ready to go on to the next step, the fact that you're pulling in other data and other people. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your dad and um, for those of you who are tapping along with us, usually when we have an experience with somebody that is our perceived wounder, well, usually in all of the traumas that we have usually involve somebody else. And so I want everybody to take their wounder and go through this visualization with their wounder, okay? We're going to send that person up to outer space. Okay. We're going to shoot them to outer space. And in outer space, there's the Brittany Watkins School of Healing. Okay. So we heal people in super, super fast warp speed in outer space. They don't need to know anything about healing. They don't have to do anything other than to walk into this building. Okay. So see your dad walk into this building. And as soon as he walks in, he's immediately surrounded by tappers, helpers, and healers that are all there to help him, to serve him, so that he can be the highest and best version of himself in his life. And I want you to see him go into the beautiful therapy room and sit down. And for the first, maybe for the first time in his whole life, he's able to talk about and to recount and recall all of the hurt and the pain and the childhood experiences, the relationship with his mother, with the relationship with his father. And as he's talking about it and recounting the things that happened to him, he's also tapping through the points. Okay. He is healing. He is purging all of the stuck emotions, all the limiting beliefs, all the negative energy, all of the all of the shit he's held on to his whole life that made him the person that he is today. Okay. And see him, remember, we're in outer space, so he can heal in super, super fast warp speed, and he is willing and ready. And see him purging out all of this crap that he has held onto for his whole life. And if you guys are related to the person that you have in outer space, you might feel shift happening in your body as you see them healing and talking about and purging the hurts and the pains and the traumas that they experience that happened to them. This is
Honestly, that
generally,
makes me emotional. Sorry. Like
yeah,
thinking
no,
about that.
yeah, don't apologize for it. This is generational healing. This is generational healing. The traumas that he experienced were passed down to you genetically, epigenetically. Okay, so this is one of the ways that we can reverse that. So you are not just doing healing for him, you're for yourself, you're doing healing for your whole lineage by doing this work. So just feel that. Watch him purge out this pain. If he has a lot of stuck anger, which I'm guessing he does, which most of us do, so I want you to see him walk into the anger room and see him get suited up with a space suit and given a baseball bat. And the walls in the anger room are made of mirrors. And he gets to take a baseball bat and he gets to beat the shit out of the walls and break all the mirrors, releasing all of the generations and generations of stuck trauma, stuck anger, and stuck emotions that have been inside of him, that have been inside of them, that are also living inside of you. And just see him keep breaking things, hitting walls, hitting the floor, purging out all of these emotions, all of the anger. And then just see him, once he gets to the end of it, see him fall to his knees and he's got nothing. He has purged all of it out. And see him take a nice big deep breath. And then he's escorted out of that room. He takes the suit off and you're seeing a change in their face. You're seeing them differently for the very first time. You see their faces lighter. You see them standing up a little bit more tall, a little taller. You see them a little more enlightened. You see the lights on behind their eyes more. And you see kindness and compassion. And you see their aura differently. You experience them differently. So now we're going to take them into the room, the Book of Life, the room that is called the Book of Life. And there's a librarian in the Book of Life. What the Book of Life room consists of every single book that has ever been written ever in the history of humanity. And so depending on what he needed to learn, maybe it's personal growth, maybe it's child psychology, maybe it's something around health and fitness, maybe it's motivation, whatever it is, that librarian knows exactly what information he needs to be downloaded with. And she puts her finger in the middle of his forehead into his third eye, and she downloads all of that information. He immediately understands everything. He immediately knows how to be the best dad. He immediately knows how to be the best version of himself. He knows how to take care of you. He knows what he did wrong and he knows how to fix it. And so I want you to see him light up and thank everybody in the healing center for helping him, for healing him. And he floats back down to earth and he's standing in front of you. And I want you to hear him apologize to you. Hear what he has to say. And you can say it out loud, or you can say it in your mind's eye, but apologies sound like this. That was not okay. That was not right. You don't deserve to be treated that way. That was, I will spend the rest of my life trying to repair my relationship with you, trying to working to get to for you to forgive me. There's no justification. There's no reasons why. It is just, I am so sorry. You did not deserve that. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. You did not deserve to be treated like that. I hope with the deepest part of my soul that you never accept treatment like that from any other human being, because that was so not right.
Yeah, I'm picturing it and I can imagine it, and it's like I want that really deeply. And then there's just like a lot of sadness.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be very sad. And sometimes you won't be able to take the apology in at 100%. Just notice the percentage that you are able to receive it. If you can't take the apology 100%, it just means that there's more work to do with this person. Usually there's some like stuck anger and some resentment that still needs to be healed, but that doesn't mean that you can't receive it. It just means that there's a little bit more tapping to do here. So just notice how much you can receive his apology, because my guess is you can receive part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just feel that, feel and let yourself integrate whatever you can. And then I want you to respond back to him when you're done receiving his apology. It doesn't have to be long and you don't have to say much, but just something to acknowledge his apology. What that does is it helps us solidify their apology inside of our bodies and inside of our psyche.
Yeah, I think it's more like visualizing him like healing, like that made me emotional because I
Yeah,
know he went through a lot.
yeah, that's usually the case. I can't think of one case where the person who was the wounder didn't have something really fucked up or a lot of really fucked up things happen to them.
Yeah. So I think it's that just like gratitude and also like sadness because obviously some part of me really loves my dad, even with the
Yeah.
estrangement, because he's my dad, and just like grief for his sadness.
Yeah, and grief for you not having the kind of dad and the kind of relationship that you wanted, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very
just like
natural.
unnecessary pain is kind of how
Yeah,
it feels.
yeah,
That's just like warped this relationship.
yeah, yeah. You're grieving the little girl who lost so much. Yeah, yeah. So decide what feels good here right now. If you want to give him a hug, if you want to tell him thank you, I'll be back and we'll work through the rest of our stuff, whatever you want to do. Again, you don't have to do this with him in real life, but you are changing the energetics and the dynamic of the father that has been templated in your brain, in your psyche, in your body. So as you change your relationship with that version of your father, um, often people will notice the physical person actually changes, but what that does is it frees us up to think, to be the person that we would have been if we would have had the kind of version of our father that we really wanted, or if that trauma never happened to us, or if it happened in a different way. So sometimes with parents, what I like to do is I like to think about, and I don't know if you're there yet, Clara, you can tell me no, and this is something that you can keep tapping on when after we click off or after I mute you. But you can think about the kind of dad you wanted. And what I would do is I would imagine your life growing up with the version of your dad that is fully healed, that stood in front of you, that apologized. And notice go back through time from the moment you were born and think through all the way up until this trauma. What would have been different? What would have changed? And visualize that, feel it, feel the love, feel the safety, feel the protection that you didn't get.
Yeah, and I went with 21 because that scene is like the first thing that popped into my brain, but there's like so much before then too.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I normally would press you to go to an earlier age, but I trusted what you brought up.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I think this is really important for you to sit with this and for you to keep tapping and kind of rewrite your relationship with your dad. Not saying that you'll never have to do this again, but just, to start that process of growing up with a different father. And then once you're done with that, we can check in at the end of the class. I want you to revisualize getting on social media, putting yourself out there and notice what's changed. Okay.
And so I'm gonna keep tapping. So just do that, like go back in my memory and sort of like rewrite my relationship with my dad.
Yeah, grow up with this version of your father.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be super clear. You don't have to remember everything that happened. Just come up with a couple scenes.
Okay.
That's all you have to do. But it's more important that you sit with the energy and the emotion of this version of your father. And you
Okay.
bring that energy and emotion through your childhood.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Great work. Oh, okay. How's everybody feeling? Saw you guys all tapping. Aaron, you want to share something? Go ahead and unmute.
Are you talking to this Aaron? I think there's
Yeah.
another one, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you
Oh, the
Aaron.
coach. Maybe you're, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sobbing. Do I do this on screen? Do I not?
Yeah. If you guys ever feel embarrassed, that you're like crying too much, or if you want privacy, I totally get that. You can turn your screen off if you just really want to be in the process. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth, because they say like healing is best done in community. But I so take on the sort of concerns and emotions of other people. I was like thinking, what are other people thinking? Is it going to throw them off? Yeah, it's interesting, like the one thing, like I wasn't sure what memory to or what version to go to of myself, and then it was almost like because Clara went to college, it made me think of that, and I think really it was just to take me back to my dad. I think, and it's just interesting some of the things you said that really clicked in. Like I've noticed just with other like somatic work that I've done, you can tell like when your body takes those involuntary breaths that like something's been said.
Yeah.
And when you said that somebody else takes over his healing, like my therapist used a term called emotional incest, which I just had to like recoil from at first. It took me like months to be able to even like engage with that. But like I was the person my dad leaned on, and my mom died a couple years ago. But when I was little, I was the person that like she would storm off upset and he would turn to me and be like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what to do. How do I fix this? And then she died a couple years ago and he abandoned me while I was at her bedside. And then he just got remarried this year, like within months of me finalizing my divorce. And it's just like, when you said that somebody else takes on him getting better, it's just, that was a huge point for me. And then when you talked about no justification, like that has been my entire life of him justifying whatever it is. And so I had to learn to justify. He doesn't know how to be wrong and be okay. And so I wasn't taught how to be wrong and be okay. So anyway, yeah, those two. I think there's a part of me, and I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but I'm sort of like, my dad's still alive and he's in my life and there's a lot of good things about that, but I'm just like, how do I imagine this new version of my dad when I have to keep encountering the actual version of my dad that doesn't get it?
That's such a good question. Thank you for putting that into the space. I didn't spend much time on it before, but I would say that is probably one of the most amazing phenomenons that happen when you do this work. By the way, the technique that I just did with Clara is the number one technique that I use when I'm working with somebody. It can fix every fucking problem in your life. Like if this is all you do, probably add some anger work in there. There's some like nuances, but if this is all you do, it will change the trajectory of your life and everybody that you're connected with forever. This is so powerful. So Aaron, to answer your question, don't wait for this to happen. But what I have noticed over the years, I mean, remember, I've been tapping for more than most of my life now. I have witnessed, my mother was my main wounder. And I have witnessed her transform into a completely different version of herself. My mother has never been to therapy. She has never worked on herself. She cannot be wrong also, but she is a very different version of herself. And like the thing that I hear that's always so shocking to me over the course of time, and this is when you're kind of deeper in and when you've done a lot of these sessions on your dad, like when it's your mom and when it's your parents, you do a lot of this, right? So like just buckle up and do as much of this shit as you can. Everybody reports out of the blue, oh my God, my dad said something that was so random. My dad never comes to Christmas. And all of a sudden he decided to show up. He's 90 years old. My father has always been the drill sergeant in the kitchen. And if you don't get up when he wants to cook something, and if you don't offer to help, he will bust your ass. Well, I was working on this, my relationship with him and my boundaries. and I had done some tapping like this, and he got up to cook. My sister's like, Britt, aren't you gonna get up and help us? And I was like, I've been taking care of all y'all my whole life. I'm good. You can take care of me for a minute. And because I was in alignment with that statement, he laughed. That would have never happened had I not done my work around him. Now, I can't expect him to be a different version, but what I would do is I would be curious and I would be open to the idea that he can step into a better version. I don't know how long it will take, and I don't know how,
Yeah.
to what
I
capacity.
mean, he's different than I mean, my mom going through a couple of years of cancer really softened him some. And then my mom died a couple months after my husband walked out. So I needed my dad.
Yeah, there's some abandonment there.
Yeah, I needed my dad, but I also needed him to feel safe. So, I mean, I've come a long way in certain things with my dad, but I think the things that are holding me back in terms of like being able to do the habits that I need to do, I think must be like related to something else. Like I think mostly in the last couple of years, I've worked on him like emotionally not understanding,
Okay.
but it's the habit, it's his perfectionism, his work ethic. Like whenever I'd hurt myself, the first question wasn't like, oh, let me hold you. It was like, did you learn anything?
Erin, let's not get into the weeds too much with your dad's behavior, because that's what's
Okay.
happening right now. I want you to
Yeah.
focus on what's your goal. What's your
Okay.
main goal? Just tell me what your Misogi is.
Yeah, I hadn't been on the sounds a bit silly, but my goal is to run a 5K. And I think I made that my goal because to do that, I have to fix a like 15-year-old back injury. And to do that, I have to fix my core, which is related to traumatic pregnancies. So it's like all
So
these other things.
What's the one thing that you need to do in order to make that a reality? Just pick one thing. You can't pick them all. Pick one thing. Because remember, the other stuff will get figured out.
Yeah.
So pick the most impactful thing.
I'm gonna say the core because I've been like ruminating on like my pregnancy trauma like since I wrote that message. And so I think that's probably it.
Okay, so is there something that's holding you back from taking action to fix your core, to focus on that? Or like what's the next step that you need to do in order to like actually
I mean, I need to pick a program which wouldn't be that hard, but I think it's just getting on the floor and doing it.
Okay.
In part because it's like it's gonna be hard, it's gonna hurt, but also like my husband he still is, my former husband is a physical therapist, and those are the injuries I'm fixing, you know?
Yeah. This is where the work is for you here, Erin. I want to make sure that I have time to get to everybody.
Yeah.
But this is where the work is for you, is
Okay.
thinking about the next thing that you need to do. And you can go back and watch this recording. I'm going to ask everybody the same question. What's the
Okay.
next thing you need to do in order to make that a reality? There's
Okay.
resistance there. You had a memory of your ex-husband, right?
Yeah.
This is where the work is.
Okay.
So you do this dynamic echo tapping on, we're renaming this, sorry. You do this dynamic echo tapping on that memory. Whatever just came up for you that was emotional, that's what you work with. That's what you do this process on.
And I send my husband to space.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, Grace, I'm going to check in with you. I'm going to turn my heater off.
Hello, everyone. It's
Grace,
wonderful to be here.
how was that for you?
What's that?
How was that tapping for you?
I didn't do a lot of tapping with who was it?
Clara.
Yeah, sorry, where I can't find you right now. Too many people.
Clara.
But Clara. So I didn't do any tapping because it didn't feel relevant to me. I mean, I didn't. But I'll tell you something. A whole bunch of stuff, basic deep down stuff, has come up since we were last here. Last Thursday, my life completely changed. Well, okay, I'm going to try to be succinct here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to have to put a little time. I'm going to put a little time limit on everybody. Sorry to do this, but I just want to be able to make sure that everybody gets time. Okay.
Okay.
Go
There's
ahead.
something out of my life. And now I'm in experience where there's somebody who wants to share sexual energy with me. Not in person yet, but, and I'm just like, I'm thrilled, but I'm also terrified.
Yeah.
And alongside that, though, I'm also aware his life is such that completely different lifestyle. So beautiful clothing.
So
Okay.
Grace, hold on. Let me just slow you down here because I want to give you the most that I can. So your terror about this is the thing to work through. That's the gift.
Okay.
So the terror that you're feeling about this person wanting to share sexual energy with you is the thing that you can do the dynamic echo tapping on. That's the thing that I want you to follow back in time, go back.
Okay. I was kind of doing that while you were talking to,
Okay.
I think it goes back to an original thing when I was about 6 or 7. It was a private school principal that I was in a room alone with. I think that's the first one because when he asked me to approach him, I could feel both fear and I was only 6, sexual, like, ooh.
And I'm telling you guys right now, shit like this is going to happen. It's going to come up while you're in this container. I had something very similar. I went on a date, 2 dates with a guy, and halfway through the second date, I'm like, oh my fucking God, this guy is my dad. This guy, I haven't been on a date in 6 months. And now all of a sudden I'm dating my dad. So like this kind of stuff will happen. And I want you guys to embrace it and to use the techniques.
Yeah, okay. So, but the person who just came into my life, he's not what do you call him? Wounder. I think,
No, but he'll remind you of things that
yeah,
have happened.
because it's like, in
Yeah.
order for me, I don't know if I can, and I'm scared of even failing at it, being able to really connect sexually with somebody.
And the thing is, you don't have to decide that right now. You don't have to know the difference because there's no way for you to figure that out when you have this experience and these traumas that are coming up. You're not making the decision from the adult version, you're making the decision from the 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Does it
Oh,
make sense?
okay. So what does a 6-year-old do?
So you do exactly what I just did with Clara, do the dynamic echo tapping, go back and work on your emotions, heal that. I know you have the unlimited tapping with the coaches, so get with your coach and I wouldn't, if this is challenging to do on your own, get with one of the coaches. But learn this process, please. Learn this process. And maybe start tapping right now too, Grace. Yeah.
It's just so confusing.
Yeah. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Yeah.
I don't even know what to tap on. Oh, I sort of have.
Yeah. So as the 6-year-old, go back and feel the emotions that the 6-year-old was feeling. Do you have a coaching session set up for today? For tomorrow?
No, but I can do that. I know what the calendars are.
Great. Okay. I suggest you do that. I think they have calls, they have room today or tomorrow. That would
Okay.
be really good. Okay. Thanks. Grace. Yeah. And also I saw your post about so many calls and so many classes. You guys, those are there to support you. They're not there for you to go. It's kind of like joining a gym. This is like a gym for your emotional brain. Okay. When you join a gym, you don't go to every single class. You go to the classes that fit you the best for that moment. Sometimes you just need a whole bunch of yoga for the month and you just do the yoga classes. Sometimes you want to go to a boot camp because you really want to get in shape and you have that energy. Okay. So I want you to pick the classes that you go to based on what you need, not trying to hit every class. Okay. That would be too overwhelming. That's not what they're there for. They're just there for support. Okay. Thanks, Grace. Okay, Ellen.
Hey, Britt.
Hi.
This is really good. So tell me what you're looking for so that I know where to start.
Well, what if you have questions about how to use this for your own case, I think that's what we should work on right now is how to take what I just did, the technique that I just did, and how to apply it for
Okay.
your specific case.
All right. So in a nutshell, what I deal with all the time is I have these health issues. I have lymphedema. I have venous insufficiency. I wear compression bandages on my legs 24 hours a day, and I can't wear regular shoes, and I walk with a walker. and it's hard for me to get in my car and go somewhere by myself. And I have a daughter who's far away, and I have a
What's your
granddaughter.
Musogi for the end of the year?
I want to be able to be fit enough to plant a new garden and also to go visit my daughter and my granddaughter.
Okay. So what's the one thing that would need to happen in order for you to make that a reality? What's the biggest needle mover?
It's a combination of losing more weight
Okay.
and following through with my physical fitness with I have a physical therapist who works with me once a week, and I don't always do the exercises, like I need to be more self-starting and fighting back against that resistance.
Okay.
Um,
So,
and my weight loss has kind of like, I didn't gain anything over the holidays, which is yay, that's a win, but I'm not losing any. I haven't lost any since October, and it's like, that is so
okay.
frustrating.
So we got to pick either the weight loss or the physical fitness.
Well, I would go with the weight loss as the primary.
Okay. So then with the weight loss, what's the thing that you're doing that's contributing to the weight? Are you still eating at night? Are you still eating in between meals? Are you what's
Well,
happening there?
I was doing great with that idea of, when your program was saying eat what you want, listen to your body, don't eat if you're not hungry, only eat when you're hungry. That business of I love myself, therefore I eat slowly, therefore I eat consciously, therefore I only eat
Okay.
foods
And
that
then
nourish
what
my
happened?
body. I'm not I lost one of my caregivers. I had some things happen that like created stress. I'm not sure really what happened.
So did you notice
Holidays happened,
so did
uh,
you notice a change? So do you feel like you started eating emotionally again?
maybe a little bit.
Okay.
I think I got in touch with this. I'm afraid once I get, like, I weigh around 250 right now. I got down into the high 240s, and my clothes were, getting loose, and I was feeling trim and wonderful. And then all of a sudden it was like, am
You
I going
stopped
to die?
everything. Yeah.
It's like,
Do you know
um,
if you've had a body boundary violation?
yes.
Okay. Anybody that's working on weight, this is the number one question. Have you worked through all of your body boundary violations? Have you started that? Ellen, what's your answer to that? Have you worked on your body boundary violations?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I'm an early childhood sexual assault survivor. It was not in my family. It was uh, an older boy. He was 14. I was 4, almost 5. And it wasn't violent. What was traumatic was being interrogated by a police officer.
Okay. Ellen, did you work with my techniques on those memories?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have. And like the police woman that interrogated me, like she's definitely one of my wounders, and I definitely know that like I responded to that situation by saying, I'm going to get bigger and stronger, and so
Yeah.
that I can be powerful, and that was like an incentive to get fat.
Yeah.
I
So,
think.
so if that's still happening, my sense is about you that there's still a lot more emotions here. It's
Okay.
really easy, and all of us, including me, we want to do the tapping and we want to just like jump to the other stuff because this is really, really hard to reimagine and to re-experience. So, Ellen, I want to encourage you. I don't have my list. Did you get the one-on-one coaching?
No.
Okay, so then you're going to need to do what I did today with Clara a lot of times on this memory, especially I would work with the female cop that you just mentioned
Yeah.
and add in, do you know how to add anger work in the middle of that when you're going back in time and you're there? Add anger work. Say fuck you, say no, say get away from me, stop.
Yeah.
Some
I
boundaries,
find
some anger work. Yeah.
when I am doing it, like I'll start and things come up and then I just start talking and crying and
Great.
yelling and yeah, I get really into it.
Great. Okay. My sense
So
is that I think if you just dedicate the next 30 days to doing a lot of that,
okay.
I think you'll move the needle in a big way.
Okay.
Okay. And
I'll
we'll be
take
here
your
to
word for
support
it. I
you.
trust you for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. All right, Ellen. Yeah, I know this is really hard to do. It's a really, really heavy work. And I applaud you for doing this on your own. And yeah, if you need any additional help, you can reach out to the coaches and there's a way for you to get that coaching, or you can come to I'm going to have extra calls too. If you want more
Okay,
guidance.
that's good to know. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. Okay. Hi, Linda. Oh, Linda, you're not unmuted. I'm just making some notes so I
Okay.
remember what everybody. Hi, Linda.
Right. Hi, Brittany. I'm confusing myself.
You are?
Yeah, I do a great job of that.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
So let's get clarity.
Yeah.
What?
So I said my Musogi was I want to be proud of how I spend money at the end of this time, end of the
Yes.
year, end of whatever. And what came up this week that I texted you about or I found, is I had this incident that triggered I'm not a cool girl. I'm not, and that was so powerful. And I did the tapping and I haven't even scratched the surface, it feels like, of not enough. And I'm wondering if I can have a Masogi that says, I know that I'm enough in 60 days. I mean, I don't know if that's a tangible as the money thing, but just even talking about it, it's like, holy shit, I had no idea that I'm 77. Like, hello, how is this possible? But it even reading the script or, I did some of it and then I just had to stop because I was just like, I don't know, I had to stop. So I need guidance about, this, what's coming up now. Is it on the way to the money thing or just do I declare that? I want to be focused. I get as you work with people, it's really important to be focused. And I can go flying.
You're
so
in the weeds.
I don't want to
All in the
fly.
weeds.
I want to be grounded. So
Thank you
that's
for
the
bringing
help
that
I
up.
need. Yeah.
Okay, yes, I would say switching your Misogi is the wrong choice.
Okay.
I love that your Misogi brought you to this. And so I would say because of the reaction you're having and because of how you're feeling right now and what came up for you, I would say that's absolutely the right Misogi. And your intention and your desire to truly love yourself at the end of the year will come through the process of getting you there to your Misogi.
Wow. Okay,
So
that's really,
you get to kill a lot of birds with one stone here. Okay. So the memory that came up with you where you felt like you weren't the cool kid, you could do the process that I introduced. I know you've done a lot of dynamic echo tapping. We've talked about sending the people to the healing center.
I know. I'm so grateful to the healing center.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
My life.
It just does wonders. It's like the one thing that does all the work for you.
It is. It's
okay.
I just sent my father while you were working. I just sent my father. It's like, I'm going to do that. So
good.
Yeah.
So I think whoever was in this memory with you where you didn't feel like the cool kid, I think if there are people that aren't like if they weren't like a main caregiver in your life, you can usually send multiple people up. So if it was like a group of friends or some kids at school, you can send them all up and then have them all apologize. But have them stand in front of you when they come back and apologize to you individually.
Wow. Okay.
And then respond to each one of them individually too, because that helps your psyche integrate the apology.
I haven't gotten to, it was so profound. that I just felt like washed away, like so profound, like this happened to me. I hadn't even gotten to a person. Often I'm right there with the person. So I'll work on that. I just hadn't gotten, it was just like, wow, I've been feeling this since I was 5, like, like this
and
was
that,
kindergarten. This was,
I
know,
mean, I'm not surprised. Like some of our biggest shit's going to come up as a result
yeah.
of
So I
being-
don't have an identified person, but once I do, they're going. And
Yeah,
I'm doing the process. I will,
good.
but I'm relieved to hear that I can still have the financial one because I really that care, but it confused me. The
Yeah, that's your
intensity of
guiding,
this.
that's your guiding light right now. And so I just want you to focus on that for this week. If we can check in on Thursday.
On the what that say what that.
The healing that we just talked about.
Okay,
the
good.
vision,
Yeah, right.
Just
Okay,
focus on that for this week.
I will.
But know that I'm holding the vision. Everybody else here is holding the vision. That's your Misogi. That is the financial stuff, and then we can
Okay.
talk about other ways to tap into that. But
Great.
we're gonna use that as the guiding light.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, hi Miriam. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Brittany. Thank
Hi.
you. I have a question as well. I took your advice to imagine the outcome or what steps I had to take to get to the outcome.
Yes.
And where I'm stuck is that I think I identified the part that's really terrifying for me. And then I have memories or pictures or whatever you want to call it come up that are not from this life, that like there's no way that this is this life. Have you any experience with that? How do you suggest I proceed here? Do you like, I'm not sure how deep I can go into the memory because it's not, as I said, there's no way that this is this life. Or would you say this is a dead end and I should search somewhere else?
No, I like to follow all the memories. I like to trust where my brain takes me when it takes me back in time. The only real experience I have with this is the story I tell all the time where I went back and I was a rock in outer space. So all I know is that when I tapped and I tapped on all the feelings of being a rock in outer space and the emotions that I felt of being there and being alone, and all the things, all I know is that it came back. When I came back to this life, it fixed my problem. So
Okay.
I would say if that's coming up for you, trust it. This is
Yeah.
also true if you go back to a memory that you're like, I know for sure that didn't happen. There's no way that could have happened. Trust what you're getting, because even if it was just the way you perceived it, it's impacting you and it's causing this behavior. So another story I tell often is a friend of mine. She just witnessed her neighbor being sexually abused, or she thought she did. I think she just intuited it. I don't even think she knew that it was happening. So that's the thing that came up for her where she's like, I don't even know if this happened, but when we worked on it, that was the thing that was holding her back from losing the weight. So I absolutely encourage you to follow it back. I would say if you're going there 90% of the time, maybe that's a distraction, but go with it when it comes up.
Okay, so what I'm getting, just treat it as if it was real and then see if I can go through it. Yeah.
See, treat it if it was real, figure out who the wounders are, send them to outer space, do the healing, have them come back and apologize, and then reimagine the scenario as you would have hoped it happened, as you would have liked it to happen.
Can I, like, I don't want to go into all of the detail, but what comes up for me is basically that I'm 24 and I'm giving birth to a dead child. And this is for something where I can say this has not happened. But I'm not sure in that scenario who the wounder would be.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think there is a wounder there.
Yeah.
I think you send that version of yourself, that past life version of yourself, to the healing center.
Okay, that sounds very relieving.
Yeah,
That sounds very good.
Do it with the baby, and
Yeah.
then reimagine that happening and you having a healthy birth and having
Yeah, okay. That sounds like it's already giving me a lot of relief, so it's something I should
Good.
follow. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I can feel it too. That's the right move.
Mm.
Okay. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Um, I wasn't able to make it last week, and I've added my Misogi to the chat.
Great. Will you tell me, just because I have a running list of everybody?
Yeah. So, I want to, it's funny, Clara kind of said I was like, oh my God, she's talking my words. So I am a certified life coach. I kind of stopped and gave that up about 3 years ago. And then I decided about 4 or 5 months ago that I wanted to do that again. And my misogi is being seen. And I just realized that today. And
I think being seen is the part of the problem, but what's the misogi? Is it the being a life coach again?
yeah,
Okay. So being seen as a life coach and
yes,
putting yourself out there as a life coach. Okay.
yes. I have to say, as I sat here through all this time, I'm literally tapping because all I wanted to do is put my hand down. I'm like, I don't want to be seen. I don't want her to talk to me. I don't want to be seen.
This is really good practice. This is it's a big group, and it's you're in great company though, where we all have so much in common. And everybody is highly empathetic and very kind. So you're in really good company. But I also empathize with how when I don't lead these, if I have to just speak in somebody else's room, I feel the same way. I hate it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So one of the realizations that I came to this week, and I posted about it in the chat, was this inability to let myself feel strong emotions. And I've even come to the realization it's also about happy emotions, not just the anger and the like. I feel like I'm a very playful, fun, like spontaneous person somewhere inside me, but on the outside, I have to be very structured, and I can be friendly and all that stuff, but I don't let myself be kind of like this goofy, wild little child that I feel like I can be.
Oh, I love that. So the way that I would work with that, the way that I would play the opposite game with you is I would have you imagine being that version of yourself, or even setting up a tripod, pushing play on a video and being that version and doing that for the camera.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the trigger. And then tapping on whatever's there because you're in it right now. Yeah. Start tapping now. Yeah. So Lisa, that's the only thing I want you to focus on this week. That if you can get to the point where that might be a month, that might be you focusing on that for a month. Okay? Be really gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Amanda.
Hello. So, just to remind you, my misogi is to purge all of this extra stuff from my parents and my in-laws' house.
I have it on my page. Yes. I'm so
And
excited.
so I, as you instructed, have been doing a lot of anger work in the past week, which has been great. I've had some physical responses to it in addition to, but it's been great. So when you were walking Clara through this process, my memory took me back to the garage at my grandparents' house.
Mm.
Okay. So my grandparents, um, Great Depression survivors, total hoarders. They bought everything on sale, and they would buy, like a case of whatever, toilet bowl cleaner because it was on sale for whatever. So I know that is sort of like the start of any kind of hoarding behaviors that I have because I learned that as a kid. However, and it was my grandfather who's always the shopper. Around him, I have zero negative feelings. Right. So like when Claire was talking about her dad and that stuff, I don't I actually only have warm and fuzzy and loving feelings about him. And I'm sure that I probably have some unresolved grief about his death. I mean, he was old. He was almost 100 years old when he died, right? So I grieved him for a long time before he actually did die. I just don't know if there's any more that I need to do with that, or if I should just keep on with the anger work of the purging stuff or if there's a way to like celebrate him and say goodbye to him in that way.
Yeah,
So that I
my
can move
first
forward.
hit when you first said it, is they need to go to the healing center. This is generational trauma.
Okay.
They need to heal their Great Depression, PTSD from
Okay.
the hoarding. I think the hoarding was just something that was passed down.
Okay.
And as soon as what I would do is I would send them to the healing center. I would work with them individually, grandma and grandpa individually. And you guys, the first time I did this, I remember I was traveling, I was in Bali, I was working out at a gym. My dead grandma comes in and says, "Go home right now." It was my birthday, like 10 years ago. Just go home right now. I go home and I get all this information about what I need to tap on. It was my mom needed to heal her relationship with her father. And I was feeling it for her. I was channeling it for her. And I'm tapping and I'm sobbing and I'm hearing the words that she needed to hear from her father being delivered to her. And I'm feeling them as the generational, daughter of this line. And I'm sobbing, just like feeling the healing for my mom and for him. Within 2 hours, my mom texted me and my sister's chain, and she goes, "Something's wrong with Grandpa. Grandpa's texting me that he loves me.
Oh,
Grandpa's gonna die. He's texting me that he's never said that before." So like this shit is really powerful, and I think that that's what needs to be done. And I don't think that there's necessarily anger there. I think there's just you receiving the healing, watching him go through the healing and receiving and kind of midwifing the emotions for him through
okay.
yourself. You'll probably have a strong reaction to it also.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Wendy.
Hi, Brittany. Thanks. I just gonna make this really quick. I just wanted to see what I should address as the most impactful thing to not taking the medicine anymore, because from what I've been
Yes.
told to me, it was a combination of things. Like it could be from like too much sugar or like not daily exercise or things like that. So I just wasn't sure what you would think I should maybe start to focus on.
So with are you titrating down now?
Well, my I haven't had a chance to get with my psychiatrist. Like he's supposed to see me soon. So I was going to try to ask him if I could start tapering down. And I just wanted to make sure I was all set to go before I did that.
Yeah, okay. So with the taper, and with anxiety and depression, it's going to get a lot louder before it gets more quiet. And 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 that's the gift. Like remember how we're talking about all this shit happening to us, and that's like I want you to see this as the gift. And when you start to taper down, the anxiety and the depression will get a lot stronger. And though what's really happening is like it's kind of these like echoes and these voices and these traumas from the past that are resurfacing. Okay. So in those moments, as much as you can, remember, okay, what is this reminding me of? Go back in time. Who does this remind me of? What happened? What emotions am I trying, or like what emotions was I feeling then what emotions did I need to feel then that I couldn't, right? And allow yourself to express those and do the exact dynamic echo tapping process that I did today with Clara. You probably will need to add anger, anxiety, like I know when I was going through this, I also got hooked on Valium. I've experienced everything. So I got hooked on Valium with a really toxic relationship for a year. Didn't realize I was hooked on it and then had to come off. I just did the cold turkey thing. But I'm not recommending that. It was really fucking hard and I was not normal for months. But what I did a lot of was moving my body and moving the energy through my body. Sometimes the anxiety, if you can't identify something that happened in the past, or if there's too many things that are coming up all at once, just do anger work, just do purge. Just know that that's a purge and look at it kind of like doing 20 dynamic echo tapping sessions in one go. Okay. Like look at it as like, oh my gosh, I get to heal all of this stuff at once. Okay. Rather than like, oh my God, I can't figure out what it is. And I can't like figure out, the point is not for you to figure it out. The point is for you to get the energy out of your body.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda?
Hi, I didn't have my hand up and then I was like, oh, I have a question. And so if you have time, fantastic.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to stay on as long as you guys have questions. Aaron, I'll come back to you. I see your hand is up again.
Okay. So I was actually just mentioning,
Your
thank you.
weight loss, right?
85% muscle. So I don't want just weight loss. I want like toned, fit, six-pack muscle.
Okay. Okay.
Muscle.
So is it to gain muscle and lose fat?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that's what we want. Okay.
I don't want to be skinny fat. I want to be like brick shit house.
Okay.
Fit.
So if you're going to do that, what's the one thing that needs to happen for you to become that version of yourself? What's the biggest lever? Is it to stop emotional eating? Is it to
Self-sabotage.
Okay. So when you say self-sabotage, how do you know you're self-sabotaging? What are the actions and behaviors that you're doing to sabotage?
I say, oh, screw it, I'll tap later. Oh, screw it, I'll just eat this. Oh, it seems too overwhelming. It seems like the mountain is too big. I'll do that tomorrow. And as soon as like one of the gals just said, I feel good in my clothes. I lost like 25 pounds. Like I've got pipes, like feeling great. And then the holidays happen and I'm using that as an excuse. But literally, it was to the point where I started to get very comfortable fitting into clothes I haven't worn in 4 years and
Okay, so
things.
what does that feel like? What's the feeling? I want you to imagine walking around, you're in the clothes, you have the body, you have the six pack, you've got that body. Close your eyes and feel into that. There's something about that that feels bad for you.
Like there's such a blocker for me to be able to like imagine things. Like it's so frustrating. It's so mad because like my mind just like won't go there. Like
Okay.
anywhere. It's like stuck. It's stuck.
Okay.
And I was writing in the chat and Don messaged, and I've been having so many dreams about like when I was a pilot in the military, like for over 10 years, so many dreams are coming. And I literally last night, like this commander, I walked out and I'm like, you're such a cunt. And like, I don't even say that word. Like it's so abrasive and gross. And I apologize to everybody on here that just said it. But like that was in my dream. And I left everything, but I grabbed my husband's favorite cologne. We were pilots together and left and I walked away from it. And it's like, I'm continuously having those. They're making me feel terrible.
Okay.
I get mad.
Okay, so there's repressed anger here that really needs to come out. And so the body boundary violation, have you identified anything that's happened there?
Yeah, and I keep like thinking about it as like, oh, it wasn't as some of the women here have experienced. It was just
Don't discount the experience. That's why I like to
okay.
give examples. I like to give a big range. Okay.
Okay.
There's a girl whose grandmother used to comment about her butt, and that was her thing. Okay.
Okay. Okay,
So,
then yes, I mean so much.
okay. Yeah, and I remember you saying that from last time. Start there.
Okay.
Start there. List out all of the memories that you can remember that where you experienced a body boundary violation, where it felt, even if it was a comment, if it was a look, if it was just ooh, I didn't like that. Make a list of those. Okay.
Okay. I did that earlier. So it started like with just like always having to get this weird guy hugs when I was like young. Like
Great.
he was so weird. And then like high school stuff, pilot training, officer school, deployments. It turns out my karate instructor was a pedophile and like tried to make out with me. So that
Okay, so I
was
want you to know that you don't have to address all of these. Start with
okay.
the worst ones or the earliest ones. I would say start
Okay.
with the weird man hugs.
Okay.
Start with the weird stranger hugs first and do the dynamic echo tapping on that. And you might need to do some anger work. Like, get the fuck off of me. Get away. Don't touch me. Don't look at me like that. Fuck you. That's not okay. No. Are you in the Thrive program?
Yeah, I have the 6 week, then I have the Thrive, which
Great.
not everything is mostly locked for the Thrive. It doesn't unlock until certain dates. So I can't
Oh,
access.
okay. You just joined the Thrive then.
Yeah, so I can't access all that stuff. So I've been trying to go back.
Okay. I'll get my team to unlock that for you.
Okay.
Because what I want you to do is I want you to do a combination of boundary tapping and I want you to listen to the module about sexual abuse. Or what
Okay.
we call body boundary violation.
Okay. And then last question is, I have been self-sabotaging, I realize, not just food and weight loss, like almost like everything. Even in the military, flying and performance, I do so awesome. I win all the flying contests. They're ready to upgrade me, ready to be an aircraft commander. And then boom, I fly like crap for the next 2 months. I get everybody's like it's like a constant. The time I didn't do that was through my master's program, but it was only 9 months program. So I left, I won all the awards, but I guarantee if you kept me in there long enough, I'd have sabotaged that too. So like a sabotaging is like a trend where I'm trying
Yeah,
to figure out, I'm like, what, why, where does
I
that
think that's a
stem
good
from?
thing to identify, Amanda, but I wouldn't, this is your brain trying to distract you from
Okay.
from the trauma, from the body boundary violation. Don't worry about that. You did set
Okay.
it in the space. I'm going to note it for you. The
Okay.
energetics have been noted for you that you want to work on that. Don't worry about that one right now.
Okay. So body boundary and self-sabotage.
No. Body
No.
boundary body boundary violation module and boundary tapping.
Okay, I just did. There was a 20-minute boundary tapping that I was able to get to through the Thrive thing. I
There's
did that one.
good. Become really good at that.
Okay.
Like that's a technique for you to learn and like get
Okay.
that into your bones. Be able to do that without following a script, without following the step by step. Just do that over and over again.
Okay. Okay.
And just work on that for this week. Don't worry about, oh, I'm doing this and oh, I'm doing that. And I want you to come up with something else rather than use self-sabotage. I don't like that story that you're telling yourself and you're really like,
Yeah, because I'm owning it.
you're owning it, you're repeating it, and you're embodying it.
Yeah.
Let's see, something like, my new normal is to let good things last, grow, and compound in my life.
Okay, my new normal is to let
Good things last, grow, and compound in my life.
grow. Okay, perfect.
Every day I prove to myself that I can trust myself with whatever it is, food, with, exercise, with every day I prove to myself that I can trust myself with tapping, with, that's another one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Let's see. Erin, I'll come to you. Hey, Erin.
Hey, just as I'm hearing other things, I wanted to ask the body boundary violation stuff. My ex-husband, it was a sexually abusive marriage. So do I really send him the space to get healing before I think I probably need to do the body boundary violation work stuff related to him, right? Before I send him to space.
Yeah, you can do it all in the same session. So what we did, so there, listen to that module for sure.
Okay.
There's a different component of it. You will have to spend more time kicking the offender's ass, saying more words, setting boundaries with him. That's not okay. Stop. Don't do that. There's more to the emotional aspect of it, but in the end, you do want to send him to outer space and heal him. Even if you can't accept his apology fully, you want to keep doing that because his healing will also impact your healing. And it's
Okay.
not, and you don't understand that. You will understand, and don't do it until you're ready to do that. Because I think what's happening is you feel like healing him is letting him off the hook.
Yeah.
Really important that you feel this. You don't get to be let off the hook feeling while you're in it.
Say that again. It's important.
It's important for you to feel I refuse to let you off the hook feeling while you're in the tapping.
Oh, right. So that you can keep the anger and the resentment.
That's the anger. But you don't want to keep the anger and resentment. You want to feel it and you want to purge the anger and resentment. And then you'll know when the right time is and you're like, okay, I want to send this motherfucker to outer space.
Okay.
right? And it might be 4 or 5 tapping sessions that you got to do around that, or it might just be 1 or 2.
Okay.
Um,
And should I go down the line because I realized with looking at like high school pictures, there was a guy in high school that sexually abused me and the weight gain started after that. Should I go back and do him before I do my husband?
I think it doesn't matter which order you do them, just do them
Okay.
both.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good clarity question. Okay, Clara, how are you doing? I saw your hand go up. Hi.
Yes. Hey. So I was doing some more tapping for myself after we did our work together, and definitely like a lot of crying. And I feel like there's probably a lot more tapping to do, but then also just a sense of like a new internalized voice, right? You know, it feels like I kind of have this like avatar of like a different dad that I can work with. So that's super cool. Um, I do think maybe I'll note it for going forward. I think maybe I was like holding myself back a little bit because I felt also like self-conscious being seen on
Course.
camera.
Of
Yeah.
course, and I should have offered to mute you. I'm sorry. When you're going through your emotions, I'm gonna remember to mute you guys so that you can feel free to like really let it out.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And I know everyone here is super sweet and supportive. I just noticed that for myself where I'm like, oh, I'm kind of, I think, holding back a little bit.
Yeah.
And then so I guess that I just have some questions about like I'm doing the unlimited tapping and it's amazing. And then I just have some questions about like, and I am doing it on my own. And we just did it together. And then I also read the document. What I noticed for myself, it's like I'll start tapping on one issue and then I work with it the way that we're guided, but then also sort of intuitively. But my brain does really jump around, right? So it sort of is like, one thing will come up and then my brain's like, remember these 20 other things, you know?
Yeah. So this is thank you for asking that. And this is a really sneaky trick that your brain tries to play on you. And it happens to pretty much everybody. So the easiest, the clearest answer is stay with the original thing. The only caveat to that is if there's something that comes up that's even deeper and you can determine in that moment, like, oh shit, this is the real thing that I need to work on, then you follow that train and just stick with that one thing. So you can allow yourself to go off like once, offshoot once, and then go deep on that thing. And then you can go back to this other thing once you feel this. Don't try to do it in the same day. If you do a big heal, everybody that does a big healing session on themselves in one day, don't try to do more tapping on yourself that day. You could really only do one big session a day. So then the next day you can go back to the original thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I feel like pretty much every time I tap, I cry a lot. You know, like there's definitely a lot of emotion that comes up. So I guess that's good that I'm getting to the things that need to be tapped on. And you sort of touched on it with Amanda, and I also saw like your response to her in the chat, but I definitely have like body boundary violations as well, not related to my dad that we just tapped on, but just in my life. And I do find that like sticky to work with, right? Because there's like actual incidents, and then there's just like kind of what you described of like, I didn't like the energy. I don't like how I was looked at. You know, it feels like that's a lot, you know, like there are a lot of things to kind of literally tap into.
Yeah. This is the one issue that if you have it, so normally I would say stick with your original thing. But when it comes to body boundary violation, that is such a core wound that can affect so many other areas of our life that I do believe that you can address those just by like memory alone. You don't have to let your subconscious take you there. But I would just kind of put a pin in that because I also feel like it's a tad bit of a distraction from your original intention.
Okay.
And I'm curious if it will come up naturally through you refocusing on visibility, starting your business. Remember that visualization that I put you through? If you didn't have any other way to make money right now and you had to put yourself out there as a healer, what would you do? I want that to be your guiding question to help you find the core wounds that are keeping you from that.
Yeah, because I do feel that it is related because when I tap into that, like those feelings can
Right.
come up, but it's very like somatic, you know?
Right.
So
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 then
I'll go
trust
with that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always trust what comes up when you're doing that visualization. Any memories, any thoughts, again, even if
Yeah.
you don't think they happen or they happen to somebody else, just always trust what comes up. In my experience, they're never wrong.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then just my last question, I guess, is sort of it feels like a lot of it is very intuitive. So just sort of how do we do that for ourselves, right? Like kind of how do we know like this is complete for today? Because sometimes I feel like I could just keep going.
So there have been days where I have cried and tapped for 5, 6 hours at a time. So I think, yeah, I think when you, for me, what happens is I just feel this total body like relaxation, like I just ran a marathon, and I know like I'm done. And my brain wants to move on to other things. Like I'm looking for ways to like bring myself joy, or I'm looking for like to be around my family or my friends or, people that really are important to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's
But yeah,
definitely
I've done years.
intense, but good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a week I was with my boyfriend in Bangkok, and there was a week where I was working on relationship stuff at the time, and there was a week that every day it was a different theme. One day was my dad day, one day was my mom day, one day was an ex-lover day, and I was tapping and crying for 5, 6 hours a day. And we were in a small space, and he was like, "Oh, she's just working through her stuff." So truly, I mean, I tell you guys these stories to give you permission. Like I've done the extreme of all of this stuff. So if you need to tap and cry for 5 hours a day, that's probably the best work you'll ever do.
Yeah. And then I guess like in a situation like that, when you were doing that for 5 or 6 hours, because I feel like where I get to is it's almost like a dialogue, because that's how I felt like what I was doing with kind of this like new version of my dad after we did our work together was kind of like going back to different memories, like with the new version of my dad and like seeing him, like the old him, but with like the two of us together. It's gonna make me cry and just being like, no, like we're not doing that anymore. Like, I'm so sorry, and it felt more like a conversation between the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is the part that's going to be intuitive for you. Like you are your best healer. So you're going to know what you need in that moment. I can guide you and I can give you here's this tool and here's that tool, but only you really know what you need in that moment.
Okay.
I say
And
that.
then really, sorry, my brain is very analytical sometimes. So it feels like what I'm doing is it's like I'm rewriting the subconscious and kind of like giving my brain a new blueprint
Yes,
for all these things.
that's
Okay.
exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, we do
And
this NLP. This is not like my own creation. This is NLP stuff. So like this is
Okay.
timeline. They call it timeline therapy in NLP.
Yeah.
So if you
Cool.
want to go deeper and get nerdy with it, you can research that stuff.
Okay. Cool. And then, so like with the body boundary violation incidents, like basically what I would be trying to do there is like imprint a new like empowering story.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
There's
Thank you
something
so much.
yeah, and it's the energetics of taking your power back from that. There's a somatic part of it that I can't quite explain. That's more of like energy. I think there's probably some psychological explanation. I don't experience. I don't know what the answer is there, but it is very important that you get it in your body. And the most important part of the boundaries is that you embody the statement. You're not saying it from your head, you're saying it from your belly center.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, Ellen, I'm going to come back to you. TK, I'm going to jump in with you just because you haven't said anything yet. Hi.
Hey, Britt. So just I came in like on the last 7 minutes of the first class because I was in my interview when this class started.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Trying to catch up a little bit. And I just so honored to be in this container. So thank you everybody who's here and being so vulnerable, and everybody's question hits home for me. But I was taking pages of notes, and I got lots of tapping to do, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing all the things, but I needed to come off mute and just tell you my
your Misogi. I don't have it.
Misogi, yeah. And I was a little bit I allowed myself to make myself small because my say the word for me, Misogi.
Misogi, yeah.
Misogi. is weight loss. And so when you were talking about, well, it's all in Thrive, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go back and redo Thrive. I'll just do that, and I'll be quiet and small. And
let me guide you to where to go. It's like a choose your own adventure thing. And because you have me more closely, it's really important. Like you can shortcut the process a lot by being here and by asking me, okay, like I just want you to focus on this one thing and Thrive.
Okay. And so is getting to my ideal weight by the end of the year, which is a drop of about 40, 45 pounds. And as a type 1 diabetic, that's a little, okay, it's a lot more challenging because you have to adjust your insulin and make sure everything's going okay. And 40 years of doing really well. I'm a great starter. Somebody said that in the first class. I rewatched part of it and I was like, oh, that's me. I'm a great starter. I'm not a great finisher. And when it's gotten tough, balancing food and exercise and insulin and all the things, after a while I peter off and I don't finish it. And so my intention for the 90 days is to really play full out here. And so thanks for letting me speak and play full out to introduce myself and what I'm working on. And so I did the tapping when you were starting with, was it Clara that went through the first one? And a lot of work, that was amazing, by the way. And so a lot more, certainly maternal and generational, and a lot of things coming up there that I need to dig in a lot deeper on. So
TK, the biggest thing that I would tell you about weight loss and anybody else that's working on weight loss is it's tempting sometimes to be like, oh, I have this and I have that, and I can do this with my dad and I can do this with my mom, and I have this problem and this memory and all of this. Let the food take you there. So what I mean by that is let your relationship with food take you to what needs to be healed. And that's why I'm asking everybody that what their misogi, that's why I'm starting with like, what's your misogi and what's the next thing you need to do to get there? Okay. So for you, we'll tailor this to weight loss. So for you to lose 40 pounds by the end of the year, what's the thing that you're doing that if you stop doing that thing, it would get you to your goal?
Two-pronged. One is ending emotional eating in the evening, and the other one is moving more.
Great. So let's just pick one. So ending emotional eating in the evening, that's a really easy fix because you're here and you're in this program. So I know it's not easy to do, but you have the tools to push the food away, right? When it's nighttime. Yeah. So there might be some anger there. There might be some resentment there. There might be some memories that you can use dynamic echo tapping, like what we just did with Clara today, in those memories. But if all you did was push the food away and dealt with those emotions, those memories in that moment, you will make radical progress in 90 days.
Can you help? And you're right. So I've gone most of the way through Thrive. And was like, wow. And hence I'm here. And I totally agree with that. Where I could use some help is the consistency. Okay. If you do it, it works. Yep. If you kind of do it, it kind of works. And if you do it, it works. Right. So trying to keep myself on that. Yeah.
I'm going to share, well, hold on. That's not the right thing for you to hold on. When you were doing Thrive, how much anger work did you do? How much anger came up for you?
I think I sort of danced around it. Yeah. So that may be something I need to go back and work through.
Well, let's figure it out now. Is there anything other than your weight that's frustrating you in your life? Or that's annoying you? Any person, any situation?
That's a complicated question. Yes, for a complicated answer, I really enjoy my job and I work 12 to 14 hours a day, and I give it everything, and I'm really frustrated with that. So I've been trying to work on that as well. Yeah.
Great. So, I want you for the next week to only focus on doing anger tapping when you feel frustrated around work.
Okay.
And what I'm not talking about, I'm so angry, fuck this. This is like, fuck this. I'm so angry. I'm so pissed. Like, if you're not, who the fuck is on my, oh, that's my assistant. It's like, who is in my backyard? Oh, okay. I want you to like take out the trash kind of anger tapping on your work. You don't have to know what to say. The idea is not to say the right words. It's just to get the energy out of your body. And if you don't scare the shit out of yourself, and if you're not scaring your neighbors or your animals, you're not doing it right. So get in the car, go park somewhere, get some, bring some pillows. My favorite thing to do is to go park in an abandoned parking lot with some pillows, where I know I'm like, nobody's going to see me, nobody's going to come up on me, and I have my pillows and I can pound pillows and I can scream a bloody murder.
Okay.
Okay? Because you don't want anything
Will
to
do.
hold you back. If you feel like, if you're nervous about the neighbors, if you're worried about, somebody hearing you, then you're not going to play full out here. So you got to set up the environment so that you can actually purge everything in there. The cool part is that you probably only have to do that a couple times, and you will radically change your frustration about your work. And I don't know what the circumstances are, but often people report that the circumstances change too when they do this.
Cool.
I
Thank
don't
you
know.
for guidance.
I'm just putting
We'll
that
try
out
it.
as a possibility. I'm
Yeah.
curious to see how that unfolds for you when you really get and do this. So you don't have to go through the Thrive program. You don't have to do anything. Don't even worry about push the food away right now. Don't even worry about push the food away. Just do the anger work. That's all I want you to do.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'll report back.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
check that. I'm gonna check in with you next week on that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Mary, I saw you were trying to get your hand up. Go ahead and unmute yourself. There should be a button that says unmute. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I unmuted you again.
Okay.
You did it.
Hi.
Hi.
Love this. Love the healing center. I was imagining my dad, and at first I couldn't imagine it at all because he was not demonstrative. I don't ever remember saying he loved me. But I think that would work. So I'm going to work on that. My massage is to shine at my arts and crafts.
Ooh, I like this one. So let me help you. Let's get more clarity about this. What does shining at your arts and crafts look like?
Believing in myself that I can do it. I'm doing watercolor now, but I only do it when I'm being tutored, when I'm in a class. I don't like what I do on my own. I don't have the confidence. I feel like I'm not good enough.
I have some clarity for you around this, Mary. What if we say your Misogi at the end of the year is to put on an art show and have all your friends and family come over and look at your art and admire everything that you created in the year?
Okay.
If that scares the shit out of you, then we're on the right track.
Wow. I like it though.
Okay, great.
I like it.
So this could look a few ways. You could actually do an art show in person, or you could just start posting it online. I don't know if you like that kind of thing or not. I don't know which one. I would say what we're trying to find here is we're trying to find an end of the year goal that's sticky, that feels like, ooh, that's scary. But there's a part of you that really wants that, but then the other part of you is really scared. So is it more sticky to imagine all your friends and family coming over and putting on an art show, or is it more sticky to post online?
I think post online.
Okay. So maybe what we'll say at the end of the year is that you have an Instagram page that's just dedicated to your art and your creativity.
Okay. And also, I'm joining a booth that is all Nevada made products. And I could put them in there too.
Great. Okay, love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mary, when you imagine that outcome, so let's fast forward, like, fast forward to the end of the year, and you're there, you're about to push send on your art. You've made this beautiful page, but nobody can see it yet. You're about to introduce it to the world. You're going to push send, and all your friends and family and all these strangers are going to get to see your art. Okay. Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
I think the uncomfortable part comes with leaving this group today and then actually sitting down and like, oh, that's nice to say.
Great.
But doing it.
Okay, great. So I want you for the next week, I want you to commit to us that you're going to sit down and do at least 3 sessions of art by yourself. And whether you come up with art or not doesn't matter. But what I want you to do is I want you to start the process of the art and then feel the discomfort that comes when you start the process. And that's where you do your tapping.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good.
That'll take you to the self-esteem. That'll take you to the memories. That'll take you to all the beliefs that created this, the resistance.
Okay. And I know it's my dad. He was very, 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 very critical.
Okay. So you'll have to probably send him to the healing center a lot. You'll have to do a lot of tapping on your relationship with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That's exciting. I love this Misogi that you have. I just started doing art too, so I can relate to everything that you said.
What kind of art?
I'm better at drawing than I'm at painting. The painting scares, like, I have way more resistance to the painting because I'm not as good at it. I was shocked at how good I was at the drawing, but then the painting, yeah. And so I haven't gotten over that block yet of like,
And I suck at drawing.
Oh, and you're better at painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that it seems like one or the other. So yeah, you'll inspire me to look at that for myself too.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your process.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Clara, and you guys, I have 5 more minutes that I can stay on. If there's anybody that still wants to ask a question or wants clarity, feel free to. I know there's a couple of you that haven't spoken, so if there's anything I can do to help.
Yeah,
Hi,
Brittany,
Clara.
sorry. I think I just had my hand up from before, but I do have a question now listening to you speaking to other people about sort of like what feels the stickiest in your life. And after doing that session with you, I'm like, well, definitely there's stuff around a business, but I feel like what would be like the stickiest thing for me would be like having a healthy relationship with a man. That makes me want to throw up, honestly, like when I think about that. So because I want it, but it feels so messy and icky for me. So I don't know if I can change it or if I should.
I'm gonna keep you on track, and I'm gonna unless you are just like, okay, absolutely not. Unless you are certain that that's what you want to change to, I think that this is just a sabotage mechanism. And I don't disagree with you. I think we all have we have so many areas of our life that we can do this work on, right? So if you got to the end of this year and you had a thriving business, but you still weren't in a relationship, would it be okay if you focused on that next year?
Yeah, totally. But then so this is then where I get into my own head because like I'm super comfortable being single, right? Like I feel like I've spent most of my life single because of trauma and because of stuff with my dad, like that feels more comfortable to me than being in relationship. So I feel like that is a desire that I have, and I'm also comfortable like putting it off for forever, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I guess the question that I would ask you are like, do you have plans for a family? Do you have the like goal of getting married someday? Like, does that feel more urgent? What feels more urgent for you to focus on, your relationship stuff or your business stuff?
I feel like the business lights me up more. I feel like I definitely have a desire to be married and to have children and have a family. But then when I think about it, it's like it feels so messy and like emotional, like I can feel it in my throat, then I'm just like, that's fine. I don't need to think about that. Like I'd rather focus on these other things.
I have worked through all of these things and
Mhm.
I'm not to the end of my stuff with relationship. But that also wasn't a focus for me. So I think it's
Mhm.
great that you're finding that now at this stage
Mhm.
of your life. And I also know I bet there's a lot of married women in here that can attest to women that are in a relationship and start a family. I think you're way better off if you can be financially solvent
Yeah.
independently
Mhm.
before you decide, before you make those agreements
Yeah.
with whoever you meet and with, you know, with whatever life you want to create for yourself. So if I were your age again, that's what I would do, but only you know what the right thing is for you to work on. I'm just telling you, if you gave it all, if you just focus this year, and maybe you'll just need 6 months, maybe in the midway through the year, you're gonna be like, oh my God, it's so easy for me to, you can shift your misogi. But I
Yeah.
want you to just focus on the business thing right now and get you to the end of that. And then
Yeah.
then we can bring the relationship stuff in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I was like between those two, it's like the relationship makes me want to throw up more. And I feel that it's like, just one of those hard things of being a woman where you're like, I have all the time in the world. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm going to be 35, which doesn't mean like it's over, but I'm like, clock's ticking. Do you know what I mean? So then
Yeah,
it feels like something else for me. But then also like, it's something that I'm sitting with where I'm like, well, do I even really want that? It's like, I think I do want to be a mom. Like I do want to have children, but it's just very fraught for me. So I don't know. I just felt like I'd run it by you.
Yeah, I think finding clarity around that becomes easier the more work you do with
Okay.
other stuff. Like it's one of those things where it all gets better. The more tapping you do, the easier everything else becomes. So I think
Okay.
it probably will become less sticky for you, and then um yeah, and then you can definitely switch and focus on that.
Okay. Cool. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Sorry. Just wanted to see
Yeah.
what you thought.
No,
Thanks.
that was good. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. That was a really great class. Hopefully everybody got some good nuggets from that. I'll put the replays up on the Google Doc, and then we will also put them in the back end, the membership area. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day. Lots of
Thank
love.
you, Brittany.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.